down here. Oh, hello. Sorry I couldn't make it to the podcast. Please, like, share, and subscribe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Gallinero, episode 7. Your boy Janos Fazekas, assistant coach for Irving FC, here with the head gaffer, Ben Clarvis, our big man, Gilbert Mendoza over here.
There you go. I like my title now.
And then Mr. Number 15, selected overall by FC Dallas, Nicky Hernandez himself, joining us today. We got big things coming. We got our ghost guest in the corner, so we're excited. Gonna have a really good podcast going. Spencer Laney, he's out in his wine cellar picking out a good bottle, so he couldn't join us today, but he's gonna bring us some good wine for a little bit later. So.
Second dose.
And we also have a second ghost guest with us today, so,
Okay.
it's going to be on and popping, so let's get after it, all right?
Two ghost guests.
Two ghost guests.
We're very excited to have you here today, Nicky. As you can see, FC Dallas, please, if you're watching, that is not vodka. That's actual water, okay? So he's not breaking any rules. But can you tell us, man, you must be pumped. What's going on? Can you still get into Kroger without people, bothering you? We have to keep some paparazzi out of the house. What's going on here? Like, how is your life changing? Let's get a little background first, so people know. Everybody knows you already, but for the ones that don't.
Yeah, so my name's Nicky, and I grew up here in Dallas, specifically more in Duncanville, Oak Cliff area, where we represent FC Harrington. Shout out FC Harrington. But yeah, grew up playing soccer here in Dallas. Just all my life, I played here since the age of 7, 8. Grew up playing with Dallas Texans. Then committed to SMU. Played summer soccer with these leagues right here, NPSL, UPSL, and then eventually made it into the draft. So I guess that's the end goal for everyone, and of course for me, that's a big moment for me and my family. And I also think it's a big moment for leagues like this and the city of Dallas. So, it's an honor to represent not just FC Dallas, but, the city of Dallas, which is I really want to emphasize all that because, I grew up in Dallas just playing soccer, and the pipeline here of, pipeline of talent coming out of Dallas is none other in the country. So I'd say that for sure.
Hell yeah, awesome. Let's fucking go.
We can see it. We see everybody's claiming Nicky Hernandez. We got North Texas United, Denton Diablos. We have, how many more people were claiming them?
FC Harrington.
Texas
United.
Denton Diablos. Denton Estudiantes. You have like 5, 6 teams.
He can play for Irving for a week.
SMU.
I heard some indoor teams are also like low key.
We went to La Michoacana earlier. They're like, yeah, he played for us too.
He was cutting up all of me, man. Tablitas.
But so let's be real. Let's start with a good punch. Okay, so who would you be do you want to say that actually represents, who would you like to be represented by, or say that I'm carrying this team for the draft?
No, just like I said, just Dallas in general, like just
good answer.
Everyone.
He's got an agent. We're not gonna get the truth, guy. He's already got he's been prepped. He's been prepped.
Now, obviously, I'm a little bit biased towards Harrington because that's like a group I've always played with growing up. It's only been out there for a year or two, but it's a fun project there. I had the honor to be an assistant coach there and run a few sessions there with the guys there, a bunch of friends. That's it. It was just a bunch of friends getting together and playing for the love of the game, and that's. At the end of the day, that's
another player coach. Here we go.
Player coach coming up.
Back in my heyday club, I played with a couple of lads from Harrington, Sammy Alvaredo, Miguelito.
That's our cousin.
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh really? Hell yeah, I played with him. He came and guest played on our GP Arsenal all the time. So, but yeah.
Me personally, it's the love of the game, the love of the sport, but I don't like how everybody's trying to claim a piece of it.
Yes.
I think to me is you. I believe it's your family always.
For sure,
100%. But I believe that it's got to be your high school high school and college, because I think that they're the ones that mold you and you spend the most time with them, right? That's my opinion. I can see that other people don't agree with me, but that's just me, right? Because look, a lot those coaches are the ones that are actually building character, right? They're actually helping you with questions outside of soccer, right? And you got your high school coach, select high school, and then college, right? All these, leagues outside of that. I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with that, but
I mean, I'm gonna chime in. State of Texas, it's all about club soccer. High school soccer, to me, my personal experience with it, we had a golf coach for our high school coach. He didn't give two shits. He didn't do any kind of recruiting for it. I mean, that's a lot of places. That's what it's come down to. A lot of their football coaches are coaching. A lot of these places have to be a coach in soccer, you've got to coach two sports. JV players are getting football coaches who've never, and so on and so forth. So club and college, for sure, I agree with you 100%. High school, just from personal experience, I don't agree with that per se. But
who would you say did mold you the most in your kind of playing career? Would it be the Texans, high school, or at SMU, really?
Well, so high school we didn't have sports.
Okay, so you didn't play
it was at Townview, so they don't have sports there.
Oh, okay.
But I'd say, Texans for the most part, obviously I know Hassan and Hudjo,
So
those
was your
were,
coach?
and my dad as well. He was coaching there at Texans, and Coach Leo, I don't know, Leo Merrick, if y'all know him. He was also,
He's plugging. I'm kidding.
He coached me in pre-academy and everything, so like he's the one that brought me into the academy system, and then that's when I joined Hassan, Hudjo, started working myself up. But yeah, it's a huge part of it. I would say I have to go to Dallas Texans, because that's where I grew up playing my whole youth career.
And would you say why did you start with the Texans? Because your dad was at the Texans?
Yeah,
or
for
because
sure.
Obviously you got the SC Dallas Academy that probably wanted you as well. But
yeah, obviously, and it was a rivalry growing up, and when I was younger, I didn't really like FC Dallas, but as you start growing older, you mature a little bit. You're like, I might end up one day there, so you gotta be realistic and be like, look at it in the long run, be like, you gotta respect them for who they are, and respect ourselves as well. But I would say, I'm excited to start with FC Dallas, because like I said, I want to represent everyone, and I'm okay with everyone, claiming this, I would say the clout, I guess, right? Yeah. I'm okay with people, saying we knew him, he played here, he played there. I love that, that's how people are supporting you. Yeah. That's how people want to see you succeed. Even if I didn't know them, and they were claiming, cool, we knew him, awesome, I love that, and that's what brings the game forward. That's what brings the game here in Dallas to another level. Yeah. I think so too, Yeah, and at today, it's a small world as well. Yeah. So you're gonna know everyone at the end of the day. So people are gonna know people. People are gonna know people. So
absolutely. That just shows that you personally have had an impact with all these people. Even like you said, even if you don't know them, man, these kids might have been watching you. You don't know, So that's badass.
Definitely.
And we knew we had a start coming. Can we please pull out the Fiji Water? We are financed. We got, there we go. We knew we had a start coming. So, come on.
Only the best.
We're not going to be plugging Fiji, but, we knew a start was on the way.
Fiji sponsor me.
There we go.
Yeah, and the podcast.
But yeah, man, it's awesome. North Texas. I got a question. So to me, we were just actually talking about it earlier. So FC Dallas, why doesn't North Texas belong to FC Dallas?
Yeah.
So why use a pick to get you when you were already playing at their North Texas team?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one thing a lot of people are wondering, online, just they think they're wasted a pick on someone they already had in their system, right? But it all came down, I didn't even know either. A week before the draft, I was told that, you're in the draft. And it was all because of my MLS rights. FC Dallas did not have my MLS rights, even though I had a contract with North Texas. So any other MLS team could have picked me up in the draft. And that's why FC Dallas really showed that they valued me, picking me so high, So they want me to stay here. They want my MLS rights to stay here for the next 2 years. So that's one thing a lot of people don't know. And he said he was already in North Texas. Why pick him? someone else could have chosen.
Yeah, but it kind of, I think that then the program is kind of, no pointless, but if you already have that person, you should be able to just pull them up, right? And just start playing with them. I don't understand the whole FC Dallas, claim your rights and stuff. I think that that's their program, right? You're basically playing for that, franchise. So just go ahead and come up and play for us.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't understand the legality behind all that stuff.
Well, I think a lot of these USL teams it's stepping stones for your career, So if Seattle Sounders wanted to come get him, they could have. You still got to claim your guy, and I think that's more or less what it's
the
about.
problem is the MLS and the USL are two completely different leagues at the end of the day. So even though there's certain teams that are related, they're completely different leagues. So they're not really going to be working with each other, and that's kind of a big problem with the American soccer system. Really, there's no kind of one long sort of pyramid. They're all separate little pyramids here and there, and
everyone's individual.
But it's they're all different together. And if there were one way where you could work your way all the way up, and everyone was kind of one unit, then I think it would work a lot better. Like in Europe, all the other countries. But the problem with the MLS is these clubs are these clubs, and they're going to be there no matter what, and they can just sort of pick and pull the talent from wherever. So although the USL is a really strong league and there's really strong players about it, if the MLS come calling, they've got no leg to stand on.
But how can the FC Dallas players move up and down and play for North Texas whenever they're like a minor leagues, like the MLB does it, right? Because that's basically, when we played North Texas, they brought down Cobra so he can play against Suelo, right?
Yeah.
So how can they do that? It's not a different league then, right?
Yeah, I think that works with the loan spells, depending how long they want to loan someone. If they want me to play with the first team, North Texas has to loan me to FC Dallas. And then I guess in paper it's written, for this week he's loaned out.
Okay.
I don't know how it's specific. I just think that's how it works, or and then I guess that contract just ends. I guess.
So even though they're owned by the same franchise, it's a completely different entity, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
They have
wow.
the same owners, but probably different entity. Exactly.
So we had a couple other players that played at FC Dallas and joined us in North Texas towards the end of the season, and they had to get loaned down to our team. So as much as they have a partnership, they still have to work together to get loaned out. There's different teams still. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No, it does make sense.
Now I understand it, because we were having a big argument outside, and I was like, well, that's kind of dumb,
Yeah.
But they were trying to explain me, but now I understand it. That's pretty cool.
And I think one other thing is that partnership between affiliate teams, they get priority over the loans, if that makes sense. So they can just if you're getting loaned out, you're directly going to our partner, whatever teams the MLS has partnered with. So I guess remember FC Dallas was partnered with Energy at one point before North Texas. And I guess that's prioritized for the people that are in the first team. Hey, you're gonna get loaned out. You're gonna go to our partners in Energy in the second division to develop, and then you'll come back when you're ready. If that makes sense in a way.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No, so now you've been drafted by FC Dallas, but you were under contract with
North Texas.
With North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Does that contract kind of get void, or how?
That's one thing I don't know. No one knows. Of course, COVID, everything happening, no one really knows. So we're working around it.
Okay.
And everyone's trying to figure out something.
So, but being drafted, does that give you a place with the first team for a year, or how's the contract?
How the draft works is, from what I know, unless you sign a Generation Adidas contract, you're not signed. It does not guarantee you a contract. Generation Adidas, you're signed with MLS. You sign with the league. You're guaranteed to stay within the league for however long I think it's 2 years.
Okay.
And then once, for my example, I got drafted by FC Dallas. So they have my MLS rights for 2 years. And I'm not guaranteed a contract. They can send me down to North Texas, or I can stay up and then get loaned down to North Texas. It depends. I can get the first team contract, but play for North Texas.
But you couldn't play for anybody else for those 2 years, even if they...
If they want me to get loaned out somewhere else, yes. But I think, like I said, priority-wise, North Texas.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you get looks at preseason. Anyone that gets drafted, is guaranteed to get looked at in preseason with the first team.
Does that mean a game for sure, or is that just in preseason training?
Preseason training, and depending how you do, I mean,
So you got to
obviously,
make the
like
most of your
preseason
opportunity,
games.
basically.
Yeah. So like I said, nothing's guaranteed for anyone in the draft.
Right. Yeah. It's
So like
just
that's
an-
why
it's
the
an
draft is
opportunity.
kind of, some people are like it's useless, but at the same time like it gives us opportunities to showcase our talents
100%.
in the first team.
Yeah.
You know, instead of going like in my situation where I went to the USL and then I showed what I can do. You know, so I mean,
You got-
Yeah.
My bad. I do
No,
this
go ahead,
a
go
lot,
ahead, go
man, I guess. Yeah, again.
Anyway.
Do you guys get guarantees like NFL players? Does it work the same with soccer? You know.
I'm not sure actually. I'm not really sure. I don't
Financially?
think so. I wouldn't think so, but
I think it just
I
depends.
could be wrong. I think it depends on the player as well.
Okay.
Depends on your agent and everything, innit? So.
And then also like the DPs, designated players, like those are the top players. So I don't know how that works with them. International spots too.
Yeah. So and you guys don't work with agents like the NFL does. Because the only draft that I know is the NFL because it's televised, everybody talks about it, right? So I'm trying to get an idea of how that draft works. So you guys don't work with agents or get a guarantee. It's not like the NFL.
We do work with agents, but I don't think there's any guarantees for sure.
Oh, we got the agent over here. My bad. Over here.
Not his agent.
All right, yeah, we got the agent
Let's
over
go,
here. My
Oscar.
bad.
Oscar Perez.
I'm not his agent.
That's
I'm not
fine.
his agent. I don't know the legalities. You know,
Ow!
work around.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they definitely do have agents they work with. I mean, and like I said, I don't know how their contracts work or something, but I do know they have. I mean, we've got a player for Irving FC who has an agent right now. He's trying to make some moves. Najee Cooper.
That's
but,
my boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my boy
he had a tryout in North Carolina. He said it went pretty well. He's got one more trial coming up in a couple weeks, so best to him. But yeah, he's definitely working with the agent, so I do know that part as well.
Okay.
So
So I know you left SMU sort of after your junior year, and
Yeah.
went to sort of pursue that North Texas. So was that a bit down to COVID? Was that before COVID, or kind of what gave you that drive to leave college as a junior instead of see out your 4 years at SMU?
Yeah. I mentioned this earlier. You know, I'm one of the older guys. I'm a '98, considered '99. You know how it used to be that way, where classically. So I was one of the older guys. So I'm 22 right now. I was 21 at the time when I made the choice. And like I said, there's just certain rules by when you're 23, 24. I don't know, like the full thing, but like you're supposed to have a guaranteed contract in MLS. And I thought, you know, me getting there earlier, ahead of the curve, which ended up helping me, right?
No, definitely.
Having more experience in the pro instead of in the pro levels, rather than staying another year playing college level where I've already shown, you know, I can play here, you know.
Yeah. No, definitely.
You know, I gotta challenge myself as well, and then you know, I felt like it would raise up my stock if I played in a different league, a higher up league.
Yeah.
So obviously it did. It opened up a lot of more eyes, obviously for myself as well. I don't know if y'all watched me play SMU. I played differently I was deeper as a 6 at SMU, and then coming to North Texas, I played like an 8/10, which I haven't played in a while. But I mean, you've coached me. You've seen me. I have like both qualities, but it's been a while since I've been there.
No,
And
definitely. And I think it's great. That
Wait a minute.
I was just gonna say it's great that you back your talent, because you could have easily
You
been.
didn't play?
Yeah, we didn't claim him.
Huh?
You coached him, and when
Yeah, I'm
did
saying,
oh my
yeah.
God!
They said it multiple times on the group
No.
text. You were going off about it.
We didn't claim him.
Wait, we can do breaking news right now.
Breaking news.
We're claiming him too, Death to Diablo. You better believe that.
Urban FC.
Yeah.
No, but like I say, it was a big gamble for you to really be able to go from. You were comfortable playing with SMU in junior, and really to take that gamble of going to North Texas, and you really must have had sort of self belief in your own ability, and it's paid off really well. So credit to you, because anyone else could have sat back and been at SMU, which is a top program, and really gone way there, but you knew what you needed to do to take to get into the MLS, and it worked for you there. So
And I would say at that time as well, nothing was guaranteed in any seasons.
yeah.
So I knew if I came over here, I can play half the season with North Texas. I would get games in before I go. I was trying to go to the combine, and then raise up my stock for the draft. And with SMU in the fall, we didn't even know if we're gonna have a season or not. Yeah. And even in the spring, they're having the season now. But then when I made the choice, we didn't know because of COVID, right? So I would have gotten. I mean, if I would have stayed, I would have gotten 2 more seasons in 1 year with SMU. But on top of that, I would have gotten my master's.
Right.
But I chose to, all my life, I want to be pro.
Yep,
I can always go back and try to get my master's at any age.
Yeah, 100%.
And
but I mean,
when you want to play pro, you only have a certain window, between ages teenage years into 35, 40. That's the most. That's the most, if that, right?
That's a great mentality to have, really, because I mean, a lot of people would have just sat back and.
So when you made the decision to play with North Texas, you couldn't go back to SMU at all?
No, I would lose my eligibility because I accepted a contract. I could have gone amateur contract, but I don't know how that works either. There's different contracts for USL as well. Amateur contract, as y'all know, my roommate was Kevin Bonilla. He played with us in FC Harrington, which is why he played with us.
Plug FC Harrington.
Shout out to Harrington again.
We'll edit that.
I was Chris's agent as well.
But so he took a gap semester. He plays at Portland now. He committed to Portland. He went to Portland, but they came back because he played for FC Dallas, and they told him he can play with North Texas. So he got the amateur contract, kept his eligibility, while still playing with North Texas.
Right. Okay.
So
he wasn't getting paid.
But he wasn't getting paid or anything. He was just playing just to play.
Okay.
And then when the season ended, he decided he's gonna go back to college, go back to Portland, and that's how that contract works.
So does he get housing, food?
Yeah,
stuff?
I think he did get. I think he did get housing. Okay. But I don't know how that contract works specifically. But what I got I was getting paid, so therefore I lost.
You lost it.
My eligibility.
So I got 2 questions. Number one, was it difficult for your family to say, break down the news? Was it difficult? Did they support you saying, okay, leave SMU? Because my mother would have been pissed, right? You're like, no, you're gonna finish school, whatever. But they know that that's your dream, right?
Yeah.
So that's question number 1. And question 2 is, this North Texas, how do they feel about you playing for Harrington, right? Like, are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to play? Because your legs are valuable now,
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Yeah. So one thing I'd say, my family supports me in any decision. Honestly, they didn't, not that they didn't care, but they'll support me in any decision I went. Obviously it was a win-win either way. I was gonna play USL, get paid already, get paid for what I love doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I stayed in school, I'll probably get 1 season in and my master's. So either way, I was gonna win, right?
You're still in school.
Yeah. And I was still in school.
Graduated this December.
I ended up graduating in December as well.
That's great.
I didn't. No one really knows that, but I graduated in December while playing in North Texas.
Breaking news: Gallinero, he graduated.
What did you graduate?
Sport management.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I can use that for marketing, become an agent, whatever I want,
Yeah.
in the sport business world. So, and then on the North Texas question, I was asked not to play, but they said I do whatever I want. So I respected their saying it because obviously they had plans for me coming in the long run, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't play. I was injured. I got injured the last training in North Texas in the postseason. So either way, I couldn't play. So that's why I took up that role of assistant coach. Ran some sessions, hang out with the guys. Take some advice from them, and I give them advice as well. So it worked out well.
Because that's gotta be tough. Like if something happens, and that's everything you work for, on kicking the ball around. Like I'm sure it's happened to people, and that's gotta really be painful. But
so big moments I want to talk about real quick. Obviously, getting drafted, probably one of the biggest moments you've had. But talk to me about being a number 2 goal on ESPN's top 10. That's gotta feel good. That's gotta feel good. A bicycle kick, back post, upper 90, top binner.
We got
You
the
know,
video- we got the
what-
video
what's
up
the-
there.
let's
bring
it
video
up.
for
We
it.
got
Let's
the
bring the video
video
for
for
it.
the video.
Everything else is
4
done.
minutes and 18 seconds.
Is it copyrighted? Can we?
I don't know.
We
They
can,
got
he
taken
can
down
cut,
by
he
Premier
can cut it
League.
at
It's towards the end. The highest quality.
4H.
is
There you
towards
go,
the end.
right there.
There it
Boom.
ESPN gonna take it down?
Here we go. It's coming right after this.
This is me freshman year.
Against Lipscomb, by the way. Let's, Oh, I mean, number 2, that's pretty badass. You know, that's got to come with a little bit of clout.
Can
in
we know
itself.
what number 1 was?
It was actually no. I was like,
was number
it
one worth
it was
Tell
a
me it
frisbee
wasn't-
throw. It was actually
That was
pretty
good.
sick.
Okay.
Not gonna lie,
As
but
long
I was
as it
like,
wasn't
this
baseball.
never happens.
Yeah, right.
So, but I mean, it was a cool moment, you know, for me, and obviously, like, you know, it was the first time me getting like televised.
Yeah,
like,
national recognition.
national
kind of thing.
recognition.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to react, but at the same time, it was awesome, you know. Like I had family members calling, like they didn't even know I did that,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh,
That's
shit,
not-
that's
yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's him, you know.
That's what's up, dude.
And that's like I got a little taste of that, so
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. It was out there for
That's
a
badass.
while.
I'm sure you fucking remember that like no other too. Like, what goes through your head when you're about to have something like that? I mean, is that just natural instinct? I mean, I know bicycle kicks, big moments. You know, I pull it off all the time. You know, had one in training a couple months after
Pull
knee
up the film,
surgery.
pull up the film.
And the gaffer saw it. I missed it, but I went for it.
I did go for it. I did go for it.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. He went for it.
I missed it, but what goes through your head through a situation like that?
No,
It's
yeah.
just-
No, like you said, I mean, you go for it. In
Yeah.
practice, you try to do it, whether you don't get it or not. I mean, you keep practicing, and eventually it comes up. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
at that moment,
It's just
it's just
perfect
instinct,
ball,
bro.
yeah,
It
you
was-
know.
I didn't think about it. I was like, you know, it's coming here,
That's right there.
Screw
Perfect.
it.
Hell yeah, let's
Ah,
go for it.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
so I just
That's
went for
awesome,
it.
dude. That's awesome.
Do we have Bernie Sanders on the Gallinero?
You know,
That's fine.
Ugh. What a fucking goal.
And it came out.
That was a
It came out good.
hell yeah.
It was a
Hell yeah.
goal
That's
for
what's
sure.
up. Absolutely.
Do you think
Oh, wow, he's right there. Look at him. Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders and that? But do you think sort of the way someone coaches you can help you do that compared to? I mean, there's some coaches that
Oh,
if that failed, they'd grill you
No,
and
yeah,
be out.
for
Where
sure,
there's
for
some
sure.
that really want to, to let you express your freedom and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And,
One thing I'd say, SMU coach Kevin Hudson, he encouraged that in the final third.
that's good.
Whatever you want to do, final third, you do.
Try
you
to
do
score
you.
anything.
Yeah, you try to. That's where you play like the way you want to play, right?
Yeah.
And you know, obviously in the final third, I mean in the defensive third and the middle third, you know, it has to be more conservative. You know, you have to play more of like within the team
Mhm.
guidelines,
Yeah.
but also kind of express yourself. But like within the final third,
Anything
that's
like
all you.
Back heel.
Yeah,
a
that's
little bit
it.
of
That's all
freedom.
you. You know, like that's
Heck yeah.
if you lose it up there, good. They got to travel
Yeah.
so much just to get to the other goal. So
No, that's
Yeah.
an important part because I mean I see coaches on the sideline in club soccer and anything that someone tries something and
yeah.
I mean it's not one of those is one in 100 sometimes. So I mean some coaches try and grill it out of you to
Yeah.
take a touch stuff, but I think that's great that he's really wanting you to express yourself
And I would
on
say
that
like
front.
just
And,
any coaches like that. I mean, it really boosts your confidence. You know,
Yeah.
like to try things like that.
no, definitely.
Whether I mean, my confidence there was high. You know, like in practice, he encourages when he sees that like. He wouldn't tell you, like, what the hell are you doing? You know,
why not go for it?
like, dude, like,
How
that
often
was
does
sick.
that
like,
happen in a game
yeah,
or
like-
shit like that?
Or like,
Just go for
say
it.
if you don't land, he's like, dude, that was sick. Like, you should try it again. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's
you know,
badass.
and then so keep trying it. You know, like keep doing you,
Yeah.
keep expressing yourself. And I think that's one thing that gives like a lot of players confidence. You know, with like to reach that next level of their next potential. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean he gave me that confidence to try that out there in the final third.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why as a coach myself, I tried to do it, Tried
Try
to
to example.
defying the laws of gravity for sure, 40 pounds overweight.
So would you say? So how many summer teams did you play with?
So I did play with Denton, FC Harrington,
Texas United.
Texas United.
Yeah.
That was my first one. That was the one. I say that's it, right? I think
So
that's
then,
it.
so on this pyramid, right? Where would you say you played? You played in the MPSL, right?
Well, first of all, I started in NCAA, U.S. youth soccer.
there you go.
Playing with Texans and all. Went up to college level, NCAA. Worked myself up to all the leagues right there: Texas United, USL2, UPSL, FC Harrington, NPSL, Denton Diablos.
Yeah.
And then worked myself up to. I mean, I think that's why I like representing Dallas, because I mean this pyramid. I'm an example of like working yourself up in this pyramid.
Absolutely.
So I mean, as much as like people think like it's not working, this and that. I mean, it still works.
Yeah.
It works. Like there's examples that have done it all, you know. And USL League One or Texas, well, obviously Championship and MLS, you know, that's kind of where it runs the game, you know, whether you make Championship or MLS.
So how different are the levels between, let's say, NPSL, UPSL, US League One, US League Two?
Yeah,
Is there definitely like, okay, yeah, this league is a lot better, or not better, but you know, more competitive than
As far as running it or competition?
no competition?
competition? I'd say USL League One is pretty tough. I'll tell you that. It might look slow on TV, but like if you go up to a game, you see everything with your eyes, right?
Yeah.
And I would say it was a step above college soccer. You know, college soccer is already fast paced and aggressive. So USL League One, when I came in, it was with North Texas. I'll quickly adapt, as you saw. Like I started my first game, but it was tough. I'll tell you, like I was one of the older guys there. As y'all know, I don't think y'all know, but like it was me and there's one other dude from Stanford. We're 22 years old and we're the older guys in training. And there's already these young kids that have been there, been doing it, like 16, 18-year-olds that have been training with North Texas in a professional environment already, which is why FC Dallas is producing all these you know, young gems. And one thing I'd say is like the pace, so much quicker.
Yeah.
1-2 touch. Not a lot of people out there know that. Like your 1 and 2 touch game have to be on point. Your first touch has to be, you know, on the dice. You know, it has to be really, really good. And I mean, it's simple. That's why people don't really see it as like it's not flashy. Like it doesn't look that good of a league or whatever. But once you see it in your person, then you can judge.
Yeah.
Basically. Like,
No, I mean, it's like watching, even when you watch the Premier League or anything,
Yeah.
you see centre midfielders that sometimes you don't even hear their name, they just kind of keep the game ticking
Yeah.
and switching. I mean, it looks simple on TV, but yeah, it's another level.
It's
for sure.
definitely way faster. It's way faster than NCAA, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And within NPSL, UPSL, I mean, obviously it's faster as well. Because, I mean, we got older guys, college guys. It's like a range of teenagers to older guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, and so in the last sort of 10 years or so, especially in the Dallas area, I think the summer leagues, UPSL, NPSL, it used to be PDL that now went to USL2, now you have the Roja League. So do you think these leagues are really helping develop these players, and did it really help you develop to take that jump into the next step, do you think?
yeah, for sure. For sure, 100%. Because, like I said, playing SMU, I played differently. You know, you play differently everywhere in every team you play, right? Because, I mean, within the team, you have your role. And I felt like when I played in Texas United, Denton, FC Harrington, they gave me the freedom to express myself throughout the whole game, right? Not that when I played SMU they didn't, but I'm saying they gave me 100% freedom. You know, like I can try this out. You try new things, and it ends up you end up finding new things about yourself that you didn't know. You know, right? Or you like in practice sessions, you try to do different stuff. Like gives you different confidence. You know,
100%.
and as well, you know, you get touches on the ball with other players that you played against in the college level or in the past, right? And you play against older guys in these summer leagues as well. And I mean, you get advice from them. Remember, you know, Sam Garza coached us. He played with us at Denton, and he would always advise us, you know, through his MLS. Plugging everyone.
But yeah, no,
You
yeah.
get a plug.
Hey man, he's a pro. You know, we gotta give it to him.
But
I mean, you were in that environment.
Yeah.
He would advise a lot of
the younger players.
the younger players on what to do and his experiences, right?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, that's the love for the game. You know, you're just trying to succeed with people with the same mindset, right? So surround yourself with people that to get you there.
Yeah, and there's so many different people you can take little bits of lessons from, and playing under different coaches, you get to kind of learn different systems or different way to play, because I mean, especially in the professional game, you could have one coach and suddenly 2 months later he gets fired and there's another coach come in. It's a completely different way. So to be able to adapt, I think is great. And I think these summer leagues, especially now, I mean, with the college game being such a tight window of only playing maybe 20 games in 3 months, and then you have the rest of the year not to. I think with the Roja League coming up, the NPSL being winter and summer, to get an extra sort of 10, 20 games in, I think it's crucial, because I mean in Europe they play year round all the time, so you're already missing out on development if you're only sort of playing those 20 times. So
who had the biggest impact in your soccer career that you would say?
I mean, consistently, I'd say my dad. I mean, because obviously I'm with him all the time. And, I mean, he always said like he wants me to be better. Like if I get a goal or two, why not 2 or 3? You know, why not? Why can't you do more? You know, and obviously that built like a mindset in myself. Like I can do more. You know, when I scored 2 goals in the against Lipska, why can't I get that hat trick? You know, why can't I get that 3 goals? And that's like the mindset you should have. I always want to better myself. Yeah. Build these short-term goals to reach the long-term goal.
Yeah. You gotta kill, and that's what makes it the difference between somebody that's average and somebody that's
somebody who's okay with one goal
line,
instead of not okay and wants more.
You gotta
Absolutely.
Go after the kill every single game.
Absolutely.
You gotta try to win every single game.
Absolutely.
And talking about goals, so I mean you've been drafted by FC Dallas, but I mean you see lots of players even from Dallas, like Weston McKinney and stuff, going overseas and killing it over there, and there's a lot of players going everywhere into Europe and making it into the Champions League. So I mean, what kind of some of your goals from here on out, you think?
Yeah, for sure. One thing I'd say is those European guys that went over, I mean, we grew up playing against them, y'all know them. It gives us that, confidence of believing in ourselves, like, that can be us too, right? We look up to them as like heroes, role models, right? I mean, I grew up playing with West McKinney. I was side by side at times when we were younger. I would mind mark him, because he was good. Mm-hmm. And seeing him in Europe now, like damn, that could be me too, Yeah. So it gives you that different, how do you call it? Just vibe switch, like
motivation.
Yeah, motivation just to strive to go for more, now I'm at the MLS, or I have the opportunity to be in MLS. Why not, after you make it, why can't I go to Europe?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So it gives us that little boost of energy, and like also it gives us hope, like we made it the top tier here in the US, like I guess we've done it, But now that it's been done, it just trickles down in the pyramid,
Yeah, no, definitely, and it's cool that you've now been drafted, but you're with Salas as well, and Gio getting drafted as well, and it's kind of cool that people that you've grown up with are now going on to that next level. And I mean, it's great for Dallas soccer, and like you said, for the Dallas community. I think it shows that it's a really, really hub of.
And there's so much talent here.
That's what I'm saying. Like Dallas, it's a hotbed of talent here in Dallas that don't get recognized. I mean, even the Roja League, there's a lot of underdogs, people don't even see,
And they're good.
Yeah.
We had when we started this project, there were so many people. Kevin is that the same Kevin or different Kevin? Kevin, the guy that was playing with us with the tattoo on the hand, the guy on the right.
Oh yeah, Kevin.
He was an animal. I was shocked. Like I look at some of these guys and I'm like, how are you not playing pro, or at least North Texas? I mean, you're better than a lot of those people there, but they just. There wasn't a platform. There's not really a platform until now for you to be, for people to see them, right? I mean, now you got the Roja League, NPSL, UPSL, as much as we hate them, now there's the platform.
Still owes $2,000, guys.
Podcast, you're going to be getting called out. But that shows you, because I will look at him and I'm like, how are you not a pro?
Like Luis?
Yes, Luis Morales. That kid is just a fucking stud. But no, he's playing, on the weekends in indoor soccer, right? And I'm like, whoa, I mean, but things are changing, Soccer's growing. This didn't happen 5 years ago. I mean, 4 years ago when we started this project, it was nothing. It was like 3 teams on the UPSL, the NPSL. I mean, it was there, but it didn't have the exposure that it has now. The Roja League wasn't there, right? It was just college, and you know you had the PDL it was or something, and then that was it, right? And the MLS controls everything. Now finally you got older leagues, you got the NISA starting up, you got so many other things, and we hope that they keep growing. We hope, you know, I mean, because it's just gonna keep bringing out talent out for us to look at, and that's awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, you worked all your life at this since you were a kid. You got any advice for anybody else that's trying to make the come up?
Dude, I mean, like I said, I want to set the example for all those guys out there. You know, I don't want them to look at me like, oh, he's pro. Like I'm just another guy, just like you guys. Like I was there where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not easy. You gotta take initiative, you know, within yourself. Recognize your flaws. Recognize what you have to work on. Recognize what you have to do in order to get there. And I think that's what separates a lot of the talent from making it, the mindset, right? And I think once you have that mastered or at least matured, then you have a shot of making it.
Okay.
So I mean, to all those guys out there, you know, like if I made it, why can't you make it? You know, I went through this whole pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
People are in each of the levels there that can still make it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's within yourself to take.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said when we first started this podcast. Like, all our guys, they have a chance. They don't realize, like, you're not that far off. You just got to understand the mindset. Hey, you know, this is what I want to do. And if I want to do it, it's going to take work. I just can't just show up just randomly on a given Sunday just to play. No, you have to put in the work in order to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they're not far off. I mean, I don't know, maybe USL and NPSL, maybe there is a big difference. I don't know how big of a difference there is. But, I mean, they got a shot. Everybody's got a shot. There's opportunities out there. You just got to take them.
No, for sure.
But
You never know who's watching.
earlier you said it, you know, you score 2 goals, why not for the third one? Because you got to have that killer mentality, right? You got to be willing to kill. That's the only difference between somebody that's trading stocks and somebody that's actually making money trading stocks instead of, you know, sitting on their boxer thinking they have, you know, raw
going for Lululemon and shit.
Exactly. So that's the difference. Somebody that's willing to kill, right? In anything you do in life, if you're willing to kill and go 100%, I mean, that was a huge leaving SMU in college and to go pro. You're a killer. You know I'm good enough to go play, so I'm gonna go do it, right? A lot of people don't have that, you know. Am I good?
The what
Am I
ifs,
good?
yeah.
Is it gonna work out? Is it not? You know, what if I break my legs? This is for sure. What if I go there and break my no? And that's the mentality. That mental is like 90% of the work, right? I mean, I don't know about 90, but yeah, it's a huge part of it, right? So yeah.
And it's like comes back to like, you know, taking initiative, like taking risk. You gotta take risk in life, you know. You never know, like your what ifs. Don't live in the what if world, you know. Do it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't come out, then okay, so what? You tried it, right? What? Nothing really happened, right? So it didn't hurt.
You're the same person.
Yeah.
No,
That's
definitely.
it.
Taking risk, taking responsibility. It sounds like too. I mean, taking responsibility. No excuses is just a big thing. I mean, there's so many people that go back and say, oh, like if I didn't do my knee or if I didn't do my shoulder, I would have been a pro. Well, no, like I mean,
How about that?
no excuses though. Do you know what I mean? It's you take your chances and when you get your opportunity, can you take it then and can you not?
So here comes the hard question: are we done with FC Harrington or? We still repping, or so
I mean, from what I can see, he's still gonna rep. You know, he's gotta rep till the day dies.
You know, those are my boys. You know,
Yeah.
that's where I came out there too. You know, so like, I'm always gonna be repping. You know, it's not like when.
But
you
is it FC Harrington? Because I saw some tweeters and bye. You know, this name is not gonna be here for long. I mean, are we calling it marketing?
Some tweeters.
Tweeters. I don't. Isn't that what it's called? Tweets. I saw some tweets, and you know the bye name, you know, by the logo. So what's up, co-host guest?
I spoke to the owner or president of the team.
Yeah.
He said, I mean, they're working on something, you know, I mean, kind of maybe a rebrand, grow it kind of bigger within a community, you know.
Can we let it loose here in the Gallineros? What's going on?
We're in the works. I mean,
There you go.
I don't want to.
Exclusive. Can we get exclusive?
breaking
Well,
news.
We'll get breaking news.
We're working on, you know,
We'll
getting
get
kids and getting, you know, partnered with a a youth club and like making the full transition. I mean, they already have like the Nike partnership and all that
Okay.
stuff. So I mean,
Cool.
hopefully, it goes through. I mean, trying to build something, bigger and,
That's awesome.
and better with the youth academies. I mean, just kind of on this side of town, because obviously there's nothing, in Duncanville, DeSoto, City Hill, Oak Cliff. They got Mansfield teams, but I mean, not as big, because I mean, we have family, that go to high school there, and all the kids playing high school soccer, they've, it's grown, the brand has grown, and they've, your cousin's like guy that got drafted and played on Harrington. That's crazy. And I mean, my cousins don't even like soccer, and they're just like,
Hell yeah.
so whatever.
Then they're repping,
Yeah,
then that's what
you
it
know,
comes down to.
That's how
And
you build a fan
the
base.
academy side, the biggest challenge that we have as a club is the financials.
No,
It's crazy because you have so many kids that can't afford
Yeah.
it, and they're talented, and that's what really really sucks. And you're trying to get sponsors in order to be able to pay for this, but it's tough.
That's tough. No, that's tough.
Right?
Like when we started the Harrington team, that's the one goal we had is not asking the players for a dime, because y'all know some UPSL and some NPSL and some.
That's all it's
they,
about,
they even some 360 pro teams
Pro.
that play.
Okay.
Or they make a B team and they
Oh
charge.
yeah, the reserve,
Yeah.
the reserve
And
teams.
we made it our goal that we would provide the platform and
Exactly.
provide the players. We won't, some people think we pay the players, but we don't. We'll provide you with like shirts, waters. Back then we had a nice stadium, Mansfield, when we played UPSL, because they required, minimum requirements, and we believed it, and we had that stadium.
Yeah.
And it's just the small things they appreciate a lot. At the first, some people were like, why is that? They didn't know we were, related. So they're like, why is this guy playing over there? Why is this, other SMU guy like Talon that got drafted as well? What's he doing playing, over there? Or Kevin Bonilla, like, what's he doing? But they all like he said, we're all just friends, growing the thing. At the end of the day, like these college guys want to have fun during the summer too. They want to get some touches in, but most of all, they get fun. And and if you're in a D1 environment, it's tense. 2 days in the morning, waking up 5, 6, going to the gym. In the afternoon, your coach bitching at you. Your first touch has to be good, second touch. And in the summer, they want to hang out, travel with their girlfriends and all that. And it's just fun for them to keep getting touches in, like y'all said. And cleaning up. And if they try to reach the next level, it helps them. Take care of themselves.
One thing I'll piggyback on on that, there we value friendships, which is why we're such a close team. I think y'all mentioned it in the podcast before, where I said like we come out, play like we've been playing together for years, but it just comes down like to the friendships we have amongst the team. It's really tight knitted group. We've grown up together. We're all obviously friends, and I think that's why we want people to play for us. We don't want to beg people to play for us. Like, hey, dude, like, we'll pay you this. No, dude, like, we want you to play for us. You don't have to come to us. We'll ask you. Like, hey, you want to play with us? Like, yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But we want people
That want to play.
that want to play for us. That want to play for the badge. That want to play because for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And for the people you're surrounded with.
And it's changing. I really believe that the game is changing, because before, Harrington, Irving, all these teams were, known or on this platform, right? All you had was the truck drivers that own the indoor soccer, the names and the teams they have, right? And I give you 50 or 100 to play. And that's the only thing that you had, that you could go to. Now you have other teams, like I said a couple years ago, Inocentes they had everybody. Right, because that was truly the only team that everybody respected. North Texas Rayados before Inocentes, right? And then they made it to the Sweet 16 of the Cup or whatever they did. They made it far. And the reason they did that is because there was nobody else, right? Now you have so many teams, and you see all these kids. We talked about Premier Legends. Was it Premier Legends or was it the Purple team?
The
Pink team.
The pink team. What's it called?
Premier Legends.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, go on.
Like that, now they're bringing a ton of younger talent, And everybody's talking about it now, right? Everybody knows that there's more options. And it's good for competition, and it's good for the game, and it's going to create more people to come up on the levels, right? And, you know, we might be able to help them grow, you know, with something, right? Mold them with character, help them grow as a person, not just as a soccer player. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, our father, he came like in '90s from Mexico. You know, like I said, like any other, you know, immigrant family, you know, he risked it all. You know, young, not knowing English, you know, come over here straight to high school and at Sunset and Oak Cliff. And I mean, he didn't even know. I mean, with Dallas and everything. I mean, he was good at soccer and stuff. And I mean, they you know, he was playing Sunday leagues, and they would see a 16-year-old just scoring like 3 or 4 or 5 goals. And back then they had no MLS. They just had like it wasn't MPSL. It was some USL. It was USIL or something. And it was pro, and he was getting paid. I mean, he showed us the checks, $30 a game.
Damn.
To be top goal scorer of the whole league in the nation. And then, I mean, back then he was like, yeah, we didn't have, I mean, they started Dallas Burn at 96.
Yeah, 96.
96. And finally he got an opportunity, you know, to kind of, you know, reach the next level. But, I mean, one, he was international, too. I mean, I was born, and, I mean, he had to choose either financially supporting a family or you know, risking it on a soccer career. And I mean, back then they weren't getting paid at all, so he was making more, you know, as a carpintero and doing carpet with my uncle. So he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, play competitive, whatever. I mean, Sunday league or whatever, and just, you know, and I think that's kind of helped like us. I mean, me with college and him with the soccer, you know, kind of keeping us on the right mindset and showing like all these opportunities now that are now that, I mean, not even were back there. So, I mean, that was, soccer-wise, has grown a lot, and I mean, the talent.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, massive.
You have all these underground, too, tournaments for money that, a lot of money thrown, and a lot of teams, like, you know, you see players that you've never even seen before that, you know, are out there performing. So, I think it's good for the game, you know.
You mentioned that about your father. My father was the same way. He played professionally in the 80s. In '86, he played with the Memphis Americans, and he played professionally indoor with the Milwaukee Wave and stuff. And the money just wasn't the same. And then my mother was pregnant with my sister in 1986, and he had the opportunity to go play in Germany, but he had to make the decision to play. And so, but growing up, I mean, we were instilled with, man, the opportunity's there now. You can do it. My sister played, my older brother played, I played, my younger brother Noah played. I mean, Noah probably had the best chance. I mean, I probably had the best chance. I was the best. But yeah, you know. No, but I mean, Noah was a baller, and it comes down to him. His was actually knees. His wasn't. But I mean, and he's still trying to give it everything he's got. I mean, the kid can barely fucking walk on 2 legs, and I'm down for the NPSL. Let's fucking go, you know. And that's the drive you want to see, and that's something. Not everybody has it because not everybody was instilled with that, and that's good to see, man, and that's awesome to see you succeed with that passion and that drive, and hopefully that makes you reach even the next level. You get that contract with the MLS, you get that contract and go overseas, so on and so forth. We'd love to see that for you, man. That's awesome. So
yeah, I know you probably, none of us can probably see it now, but you getting drafted from this DFW area just like that, you're going to change a lot of kids' lives. I believe so. They're going to look at it and be like, well, if he did it, I can do it. You know, so that's awesome.
This is going to grow the brand of soccer in America at the end of the day,
Harrington.
and Dallas.
I'm getting. No, you mean
Jaguars.
We're changing the logo anyway.
But yeah, I mean, like we all said, I mean, it's just opportunities is the biggest thing for this league, and I mean, opportunities for anybody that, I mean, there was 5 years ago, I think, when I was looking to play in the summer, there was no teams in Dallas. I mean, I went to West Virginia, down to Midland, there was Laredo down there you could play, but they were the only ones in Texas, and now you're looking for a summer place, you've got 6-7 teams to choose from in the Dallas area, and that's only in the last 4 or 5 years, so I mean, it's growing, and I mean, the World Cup coming up, so...
10 years ago, 12 years ago, I was in my friend's apartment, and he brings over some dude, and I'm like, who's this? He's like, oh, it's my friend. He plays for FC Dallas. And I was like, what? Who's FC Dallas? And he was, I swear. And I'm like, he plays for Chicago Fire now. I don't know his name, but he plays for Chicago Fire now. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. And I showed him a picture to Mike, and I'm like, wasn't this a guy that came to your apartment? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, he's in Chicago. I was like, that's crazy. It's crazy how back in the day, I didn't even know who FC Dallas was.
Yeah,
Nobody really knew, you know. And now,
but still, like, yeah, I mean, it's just for the everyday person around here that's not all about soccer. I mean, now it's getting there for sure.
We got one of our own,
yeah.
freshly drafted. You know.
Well, let's move on to thank you, Nicky, for coming. You know, we love it. Thank you for coming. And we're gonna talk about the event of the week for the podcast. So we selected the Super Draft, obviously.
Flip
so
the switch.
Right? I mean, what?
You're good.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's give a shout out to somebody from that Super Draft because there was a lot of people from the was it from DFW or just Texas?
Yes, DFW.
I mean, they played either college here or they played club soccer here.
Because I mean, Denton Diablos is claiming that 20% of that Super Draft comes from Denton Diablos. You know, I mean,
assistant coach.
Florida said 12%. Florida said 12%.
Denton
Diablos
assistant
20%.
coach, Denton, so that means Irving has.
Irving, yeah, Irving.
Well,
Irving's a portion
we
of
had
that.
22%.
Yeah, we had 22%. We'll claim it. We'll claim it.
Half the coaching staff.
Half the coaching staff, yeah. So we got something to do with it.
So how many
Every
players?
single bit about it.
How many players from DFW area?
Yeah, it was me and then Matthew Constant played with me at Texans.
He's
Played
from
at Texas
UNC.
United, UNC.
Yeah.
He went from New Mexico to
6'6".
yeah. He went from New Mexico, transferred to UNC.
Oh, okay.
We had Brandon Torrega. He also played with Denton and Texas United as well. He got third round. Talon Maples played at SMU.
Yeah.
FC Harrington.
Where did Talon get drafted to?
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Big change in climate.
Yeah.
Up there. Went from Texas to Toronto.
Sorry about you, mate.
Mark Salas played with Denton. And then Gio. Gio played with Denton and Texas United.
So I mean, that's a strong. How many is that?
I think we're
7,
I think that's it.
8,
7, 8.
7 was it?
In the draft, I think that's.
Nicky, Gio, Salah.
There's an article actually of all the Nicky. I mean, all
Brandon.
the local guys.
Matt.
So I don't know if you want to look that up.
So the guy that was number 4, I think, he was projected by, where is he? No, 3. He was projected number 1 by 100% of the people.
For about 100% for
Yeah, all the articles
He's
are saying
good.
Did you play against him?
No, I've seen a bunch of. I've just seen video. Like,
Oh wow,
That's kinda
They must
suck,
have found-
though.
they
Going
probably
number
found
3?
something. Like a pregnant girlfriend somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably found something, yeah. And the guy that number
Jumped
1
just
was
too far. It's not
projected
like
by
that-
8,
a draft,
10.
dude.
that's my friend right there.
Daniel
A
Pereira?
pregnant girlfriend drops you 2 spots.
Why would that happen?
Hey, because they don't want it.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
They don't want a baby mama on the sideline.
Or Ghost. This is we could get him on the podcast maybe.
Daniel Pereira. Pereira.
He's
Number 1.
he's a buddy of mine. We played at the combine together when I went my junior year.
He
He
went
was a young
number 1?
dude, young guy.
Went
Yeah,
to
he was
Austin
number
FC, right?
So did he play? He didn't play college.
one. Yeah, he played at Virginia Tech for
Did
2
he play
years.
with
Just
them
for 2
Diablos?
years?
So he signed the Generation Adidas contract. So like everyone,
he's got that.
you can only be in the draft if you're a senior,
Yeah.
and if you're an underclassman or a junior, you have to have a GA contract
Okay.
in order. And this year's GA class was like 5 of them, right?
And
Like
that
5.
cancels out your international slot for a first team.
Oh, yeah.
Question,
You won't
question.
count as
So
a-
even if you're an international, you get that, then it doesn't count as an
Because
international.
you're signed with the league.
That helps you out.
The Generation Adidas, you're signed with the league and Adidas.
Let me a quick question. Okay, if they see talent on a guy, can a guy randomly come to the league like they happened in Europe? The guy that was painting the street. Can that happen in the
Gabriel
MLS?
Jesus.
A guy that never went to
Brazil.
an academy, is not playing for any college. Can they get a play from the street like
I mean,
in MLS?
it can happen,
Yeah, it can
but
happen.
But has it happened?
the
I mean,
U.S.
it's-
soccer program, no.
You gotta be
It's
fucking-
Yeah,
It's too
not even
political
fucking
for that. In the United States,
But it hasn't happened.
in the United States, no.
Who knows?
And let's be honest, it's highly unlikely just because the way the system's set up from youth soccer, and that's not taking anything away from anybody who plays for the Texans or not or whatnot, but not everybody can, and they're not gonna. The Dallas Texans aren't gonna go look for somebody who maybe. I mean, you get scholarship. Clubs give scholarships, they do, but more often times than not, they're not gonna go look for somebody off the fucking streets to play. And that's just the U.S. soccer program.
So let me give you a scenario. A guy comes with his family from Guatemala, right?
Mhm.
And he's cleaning offices with his family, right? But he's an absolute baller. He can't. He's let's just say he's 20.
He has to have good recommendations.
Yeah, he's got to know somebody.
He's not. What if he's just a nobody?
He's an
But
international.
when every time he plays,
That's tough already. International already, you're gonna be.
He's got to know somebody.
wow.
And they
Gotta have a connection in
Yeah,
the
and then with
U.S.
international spots, they really value those spots because those are usually spent on their most paid
Those are for
players.
your chicharitos, your.
But I mean, think about it. You'll think
Zlatan,
this isn't just in America. I mean, this is anywhere in England or anything. It doesn't just. You're not just on the street and then you go pro. I mean, imagine.
I'm giving you a scenario.
Yeah, but I'm just asking. Like, so I mean,
you get
in
college,
NFL or
right,
anything, I mean, you're not just gonna find a quarterback on the street in the
There's
NFL.
somewhat a
or-
process you have to
There's
do.
always a process that you've probably got to prove yourself at a certain level before you can go up to that next level. Even if they're a baller and they see him on the street, maybe they'll go on a UPSL or MPSL team. Will we'll give you a shot 'cause we're not going to lose too much. We're not paying them, and then they ball out there, and then they can move on. But to go straight to the MLS from the street would be. I mean, I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but it would be a remarkable.
It's a lot harder in the U.S. though. I mean, that at the end of the day, you are right. It's a lot more difficult in the United States than other places because it's so politically ran. Soccer in the U.S. is, and it's been like that forever. It's been like that for.
Exactly. It's all
exactly.
Jamie Vardy
Yeah,
was
yeah.
what, Division
Non-league,
6.
Yeah,
none of the
and then
league.
just boom, 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 boom,
Since it
boom,
was the
boom.
same ladder, it was just boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
boom,
One-
boom.
You can't, like,
Because there
let's
is a
say-
ladder, right?
Yeah.
There is a ladder. There's
The
rungs.
same ladder, yeah, same
Yeah,
path.
like who?
Straight
Let's
through.
say someone from MLS, a scout, just comes down and picks someone up from, UPSL, and comes to the first team real quick. That really happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably throw him at
And
USL Philly
And
or-
it goes back years and years and years. I mentioned my dad earlier, but in when my dad was in college, back when the Olympic teams were only taking college kids, he went and tried out. He fucking megged the goalkeeper and scored a hat trick on. I mean, honest to God, and he still didn't get picked, fucking because he didn't have the resume of teams. He played for the Irving Mayas, which was a team my grandfather coached. I mean, there's a bunch of friends. They're all Irving alums, and they all played at Midwestern. Honestly, I mean, they're all Midwestern boys, but the resume wasn't good enough. It was an NAIA back then, and they're like, oh no, you didn't play Division I, so on and so forth. So it's been like that, and it's still like that. It's very political. They're gonna take the person with the better resume, not the better player, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
How many is this? The regular draft or a super draft is different than a draft? Well, no, that's what it's
That's
called.
just what it's called.
Yeah,
That's what it's
super
called.
draft.
Yeah, that's what it's
How
called.
many players do they get? Do they pick on the super draft?
I wanna say it was
So
78.
it was 70,
3
80,
rounds.
about 80.
3
I'd say.
rounds is that?
No, I think it's 90 in total, but some people pass. Some teams pass.
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
get
keep
that.
going down.
Yeah.
Just
It's
pick
always
someone.
because they have their academy and homegrowns, and
So
I
they
mean,
bring them in.
But does that-
they're
that
already
shows you-
fighting for a spot. So I mean,
Go all the way so we can see how many players.
But it shows that it's inefficient. Then why have these?
So
That's why I
86
go back.
Well,
overall.
there's a lot of people that passed as
Yeah.
well. So,
I don't
And there was
understand.
178 eligible
There
guys
was.
that were.
but
That's a
yeah.
pass right there. Like,
I mean, it goes
Pass.
back, like I said. I mean,
Yeah.
I would
it's
say
crazy.
It takes away from everything they're doing. Like the MLS should be like, nah, you're not passing. You're picking somebody, even if it's from your own club. Like.
Yeah.
It gives you opportunity.
But then
Yeah.
it might affect the player though, because I mean, imagine you're a third or fourth round pick and they have your rights for 2 years and you're never gonna sign for that first team. So now another team has to trade for your rights if you go to another team. So
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, but that kind of means the whole process is.
like
They need to figure
what
out
I was saying
the
earlier.
process,
I would say first round and maybe second round are the picks that kind of have not guaranteed, but a shot, more of a shot
of a
to
shot,
kind of come in and make an impression on preseason, and the rest are kind of
And it's not even
rolling the
televised.
dice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I was looking at ESPN, CBS, everywhere, and there's not even televised.
On YouTube,
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was streamed
Yeah,
online.
streamed online.
And I think they could make an effort, and they could put it on ESPN if they wanted to. I
They
don't know
wanted
if
to,
can,
yeah. Well, the thing is, since it was online, it's kind of.
Yeah.
YouTube probably brought the
This
rights
Zoom,
for it though, so they probably
Which
got
is
paid to
computer
have it
wasn't
on
even
YouTube.
working.
I don't mean.
Come on. Danny, go over there and fix their laptop.
They had the Hamster Extreme, right?
I can put the
They had the same stream Foro had.
Yeah.
They're gonna take us.
So we
Oh,
need player of the week. We need a player of the week.
Oh yeah, so we move on to we got notes.
We got a caller on the forum. On the forum.
Podcast. Okay, so yeah, team of the podcast. So we're gonna do team of the podcast first. Who we gonna give it to?
I've got my shout for the team of the podcast.
Who's that? Go for it.
My team of the podcast is SMU. I think if you look at all the how
A lot of talent.
many players have got drafted. You've got Brandon, Taylor, and Nicky from SMU. So that's three drafts from there. Dallas team, and they're going into just started pre-season. They play MSU actually next Saturday in a pre-season friendly, which will be.
Play tomorrow.
They play. Yeah, we're going tomorrow.
They play tomorrow too.
Yeah, they play against Incarnate Warriors.
Incarnate
We'll be
Warriors
out there
Nice.
for sure.
Yeah, so they've got a few games coming up, and I
Yeah,
think
good transfers coming in too. I don't know if y'all saw. They got some guy from Virginia, another guy from Air Force,
Air Force. I saw
and
them
then
in-
another guy
yeah.
from
North Carolina.
North Carolina,
Okay.
UNC.
Oh, that's good.
So I mean, they're building a good team. you
Yeah.
know?
No, so I think that's my shout out
shout.
for this week. But
I'll go ahead and go next. Gonna have to give it to Burnley for the
for
win over Arsenal. You know,
Burnley.
we got the Burnley win over Arsenal. It's
Arsenal?
Liverpool. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Liverpool. I'm looking at the Arsenal fans.
I thought we were at North Texas. I thought we were keeping this
Burnley
local.
over Liverpool. You know, we had somebody win some money and somebody lose a bet. So who
What's
lost
he
the
gonna do
bet?
for the bet?
Oh yeah,
What's he gonna do for the bet? What's the bet?
Shot.
You gotta take a shot. You gotta take a shot.
Give me the picture. I'll fill it up.
With shots? All right, man.
I mean, for
Before
picking
I go,
Liverpool over Burnley, you
fill this up.
gotta do
Mine
that.
is gonna go to FC Dallas because they got. I mean, honestly, they landed on a hotbed. Even if they're in Frisco, they're great business people. I mean, look, they got North Texas, whatever they have, all these programs, but they got so much talent to pick from. I really hope they go far and make it, win the cup because they have a lot of talent. So.
That's the only thing they haven't done yet.
And they drafted our boy Nicky Hernandez. From Harrington. From Harrington. Not Harrington.
What about my co-host, Ghost Kiss? Don't give it to Harrington, please.
No. I'll give it 4-0.
He's trying to get kicked out. He's trying to get kicked out.
Free training session.
I'm in between SMU and FC Dallas. I mean, I'm an alumni, and they got 3 guys drafted. My boy Talon, he got drafted as well.
Shout out my boy Talon.
And Brandon. But, FC Dallas doing good stuff. A lot of guys here, and around Dallas, think that, you gotta pay money, the way, and they're doing a good job of, financially backing up their DA where, they don't have, or now it's MLS Next, where you don't pay anything at all,
Yeah.
They're giving opportunity for guys, back then there was not that opportunity to climb the ladder, and, they're signing homegrowns and actually playing them either in North Texas or the first team, and they've done a good job. Oscar left, and Lucci's pretty much, even the coach, he was in the academy, and they bumped him up to the first team.
That was the same with Oscar, wasn't it? He was in the EA and went up there too. Yeah,
so they're doing good stuff. Obviously, they haven't won the chip, but other than when you get there, to when eventually if they win it, with the same guys.
It's all about
from
that
their own
process.
System,
Yeah,
they've fed. Weston McKinney from FC Dallas, Juve, Brian Reynolds right now, negotiating with the European team. Our guy Paxton actually, played with Nicky Texas, and he's on the first team. Getting good minutes. It's I think not just because he's my brother, was happy to see other guys from Dallas, kind of actually make the first team.
Absolutely.
And kind of show. Guys are like, it's because there's opportunities. You just gotta find them, and not just sit there and wait for someone to come and give you a flyer.
Absolutely.
And it brings a connection more to the city as well. If you can look and see your own homegrown talent playing. That brings fans in there much better.
That's one thing. Everyone's like, how come they don't sign like a like a Zlatan or Giovanni or something.
Look at
And they play their homegrown.
From the Ghost Guest.
Yeah, the Ghost Guest. It's half
Hey, I'm
Ghost.
on-
Ghost Guest number 1 will say, don't know how to fill beer.
Half Ghost, half beer.
So we got two for FC Dallas, one for Burnley, one
Burnley.
for the. I mean, it's a big call from you.
I'd say FC Dallas. I think.
Only because Burnley won.
No, because no. But to be like FC Dallas, I mean,
Yeah.
like the Ghost guys were saying, I mean, they've given opportunities to guys that weren't there before, right?
Yeah.
They have that chance to go from the academy up to the first team, and even their drafts, right? They picked players in the third round that are pretty good players. I'm surprised nobody picked those guys up. Like who's Mark Solis? You said was like.
very good, yeah.
Isn't he like a U.S. Did he play for the U.S. national team?
I think he did
Yeah,
younger.
national team.
Youth national team. So I mean, there's talent out there, and it's good that they're giving these guys an opportunity. I don't like how other teams are passing, and you have those players out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to give it to FC Dallas.
Okay. Well, team of the podcast is FC Dallas.
FC
so
Dallas.
Shout out FC Dallas.
Shout out.
El Gallinero.
Bring him on the pod next week.
Yeah, we'll have ownership on the podcast.
Tell Lucci to come on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, cheers, FC Dallas, to the podcast.
Cheers, boys. Burnley, shout out. You gotta take that shot now.
You gotta
Well,
take
yeah,
that.
you
You
gotta
gotta
Hey,
take
lost
that.
the bet.
Come on, for Burnley at least.
Burnley, I can't believe they won. Oh, it was so much bullshit.
Look,
It's rigged,
60,
man.
68 game.
Ghost, explain why it's important that he's taking the shot, though.
I mean, he's taking
Oh
a shot
yeah,
on the
so
pitch, yeah.
basically,
That's why I didn't want to take the shot until.
And it's good. Look,
so
you see
basically
the
we
wall.
do
You see the
the
wall.
better
Back
of
to
the
the
week,
wall.
the better of the podcast, and basically we do the better of the podcast, and loser has to pick between getting the beer or getting the beer for the podcast during the podcast, or taking a shot. And Gilbert chose to take a shot.
Fireball.
Cheers up.
But he went for Liverpool minus 1.5 against Burnley at home, which was the safest bet I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, and they
And
lost.
it's still
And he still lost it.
So he deserved that shot for sure. So
Can't believe it, man.
So what's better this week? What we got?
Well, next is player of the podcast, and I think we already know who we're gonna give it to. Our boy, our one and only, Nicky Hernandez, player of the podcast.
Cheers.
Great
Cheers.
accomplishment.
Thank you.
Great.
No discussion needed.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
mean,
guys.
he was, coached by our very own Urban FC coach.
All the credit.
So we're claiming him.
Ben Clarvis.
Now we're claiming him. We're claiming him now.
Coach Ben Clarvis.
Shout out.
18% of the people that came out of Urban FC went to the Super Draft. That was a bullshit statement. I gotta give you that. I mean, shout out to the Diablo's great program, but you can't be blowing
Out there, great
What was
program.
the actual state? What was the statement?
25% of all
25?
NPSL were Diablos.
Hang on,
Get outta here!
Wait, no, that's wrong because there's 4 and 19. That's not 20%. Is it?
No, that's
What is that? What's
NPSL,
finance?
alumni.
Finance.
It's
Oh,
around
that's
25%.
That's not
Yeah,
25%.
It's around 25%.
Yeah, because they've
That's
got,
not.
They rounded up.
they've got
Yeah,
15,
yeah.
16,
I
17,
would
18,
round it up. I
19,
would
19
round it up.
players.
Like,
19
yeah,
and
come
4 is
on.
not 20.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
not
wait, wait,
25%.
19 players out of
So,
86. How
can-
many
can-
was there?
Can I make the statement that 2/3 of all UPSL players were FC Harrington from the draft?
Hey, you
There
could.
you go.
Yeah,
You can make that.
You
You
could.
can make that all day long.
All day long. I mean,
Usually
they're
UPSL
doing
don't
it.
make graphics like that, you know?
Yeah, come on.
There's a stat for everything these days, so.
They posted it too. They take
20.
Oh, they're
Nice
probably
graphic, though.
posted.
It's
But
not
come
even
on,
20%.
that's kind of.
It's not
that's
even
weak.
20%.
Come
What
on,
are you talking about?
That's not even 20%.
that's not. They don't know. They don't
4
know
of
that.
19 is not even 20%.
Oh my
I'm just
It's
god.
alright.
It's not.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we'll go to.
It's okay. They
what's
had
next?
4 though. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Either which way, I mean, that's a
You gotta give credit.
badass result. They've got more players than anybody else in the draft, I'm
Oh,
sure.
here we go. See, are you looking for a job?
I might be. You always be threatening. I might be. I know. I heard Diablos pay good.
So
It's a plug.
All
That's a
right.
definite
So next
plug.
we got the bet of the week, and as you
You got
guys
that.
know, we film Saturday, so our bet of the week is gonna be Tottenham versus Liverpool.
It's a tough one.
And-
yeah.
It's just
We
so-
are
United
going-
Liverpool play tomorrow, don't they?
Put up the
We-
picture.
This
No, they
doesn't come
play,
till Wednesday
next-
though,
Ah,
so
okay.
we can't do it until after.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play Thursday of next week. We film Saturday, so Thursday the
Tottenham, Liverpool. Who's at home?
Tottenham.
Yeah.
Oof.
yeah.
Tottenham at home, right?
Tottenham at home.
Yeah, Tottenham at home.
Let's pull this bad boy up.
Oh,
Nicky, who you got? On the spot.
Can somebody explain everything again for the people who aren't listening? The odds.
No, you go ahead. You go.
Well, I mean, it depends what you bet on first, doesn't it?
Just explain what's going on here. I don't know. It's your fucking.
That's my motto. That's my motto.
It's your motto.
I'm
You
over
fucking
here.
explain it.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm giving you the keys to
explain?
the kingdom.
Yeah,
You explain it,
Keys to
Ghost.
the kingdom.
All right,
explain
can
the model?
you go back to the
Go back to
first-
the other one. Go back to the other one.
So for people that don't know, here's the odds for the game. So you have plus 200 for Tottenham to win. You have plus 200 for a draw, and then plus 125 for Liverpool. So what that means is if you put $100 down on Tottenham, you'll get $210. If you put $100 on the draw, you get $240. If you put $100 on Liverpool, you get $125. So this means that Liverpool are considered slight favorites.
So the lower it is.
Yeah.
But Liverpool are away from home. If Tottenham beat them, they go
So
above.
Tottenham is at home
Yeah.
and they're playing.
There's a lot to play for this week. There's a
Go
lot
ahead
to
and
play
put
for.
the other picture in.
So here's our ghost guess. He has supposedly a model.
Yeah. No, I mean, you think those chickens are free? No. Well, I'm making money. Unlike you in the stock market, you lose
What are
money.
you talking about?
On a bull market. Okay. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, Tottenham is hot right now. Okay, they've won one game. No, I mean, it was reversed. They've won 5 games and lost 1 game. Okay, there's a 75% chance that Tottenham's going to win based on my model. Okay, and the public is going with Liverpool. 79% of the public is going with Liverpool. So, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and make your favorite drink, and you're going to double your money.
Bet the house on.
Bet the house with your mother in it.
On who?
Bet your house
On
with
who?
your mother on Tottenham.
Yep.
So I'm taking Tottenham right on the wall, man, please.
So
I'm taking Tottenham.
So then why does I don't understand the public. What does that mean? The public tickets. What does that mean?
Oh, that's
What the public is
proprietary information. I can't tell you, you know.
Is that what the public thinks?
Yeah, that's what the public thinks.
So but 80% of people think it's going to be Tottenham. Why would you not?
No,
Liverpool.
80% think it's Liverpool.
But why wouldn't you go with Liverpool then if it's
Because
80%?
my model is telling me Tottenham.
Based on their momentum.
You write me down
Exactly.
too.
Yeah, thank you. See, he knows
I'll,
what we're talking about.
I'll get in on this action. Lefty, mate.
Just for this. Yeah.
Oh.
Just for this. What we got?
No accumulators, please.
You can do it, people there.
I'm taking Spurs as well.
Oh, you've got over here though.
That's all right.
Nicky, who we got?
I mean, I'm a United fan, so I'm gonna go Tottenham.
There we go.
I have to. I mean,
If
whether
you
I like
lose,
it or
hey,
not.
but remember, if
can't
you
go
lose, you gotta take a
You
shot.
can't go
You gotta send your video.
You gotta
I'll
send the video in.
That's
You
what I
send
was
the
gonna say.
video.
I'll send the video.
We'll
Yeah.
send
All right,
you
all right.
I like it.
Ghost guess.
Ghost guess number 2.
Draw.
Ghost guess number 2.
I go
Draw.
for
I
draw.
want to go with draw too.
I'm
But
going
Hey,
it's
Seriously,
just-
if it's not a draw, you're taking shots.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Hey, yeah.
Draw.
So yeah, nobody's chose draw, so I go.
I've gone draw.
Gilbert took a draw.
I've also
Yeah,
gone
where you
draw.
gonna draw?
I've also gone draw. So Gilbert, what are you going for?
I don't know.
Gilbert's gonna go
No
draw.
one's got, you got
No one's got
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
You
You
gotta
gotta
go
go
again on
You
Liverpool.
chose
Again, I gotta go Liverpool.
Yeah,
You know, they burned me the first
gotta go
time.
Do what you
go again.
you gotta do what you choose.
No,
You gotta take what you want.
This is like a Mourinho game, just in
Through and
general.
through,
Like,
absolutely.
Mourinho, like he'll park
Absolutely.
the bus and they'll get 1 or 2 chances and they'll fucking
Liverpool gave him
score.
a lot
Give
of
it to
things
my
right
boy
now.
Son.
Yeah, he's trying to cheat over here.
Hey,
How about
Liverpool,
Chelsea?
Liverpool.
You can't. You're gonna
Go with who you want, mate.
By default, Liverpool.
Liverpool?
You don't have no say.
No, I don't know about that one.
Look, you're gonna take a shot and watch Lululemon drop. Okay, so go ahead and pick.
Hold on, I'm trying to think.
I'm on for Liverpool.
You said
there.
you
Put it
said
already.
you
Put it
said
already.
draw earlier, mate.
I was thinking draw.
You could say Spurs and
Say
everyone's
whatever
gonna take
you
a
want.
shot of
I'll take Liverpool since
Yeah,
everybody's
He's
going
gone
with
Liverpool.
Spurs.
He'd be happy with
Yeah.
Liverpool anyway.
Everybody's taking Spurs. I gotta even it out.
I don't think my handwriting's as good as.
Liverpool.
There
Away from home.
we go.
Playing
So we
like
got
shit, but I'm gonna take
we
them.
got 3 for Spurs, 2 draws, and a Liverpool.
How come you didn't take the Spurs?
Draw all day long. It's nil,
Oh
nil.
my God!
I'm even gonna put.
Oh, you're
What's the
gonna put
odds
the
for
score?
0-0?
No, it's right
You
there.
got
What
any
are the
odds for
picks,
0-0, like?
It was like 240.
Yeah.
No, but for actual
This is like-
0-0
this is like a
score.
Mourinho
Oh,
game.
0-0, I don't
That's what I'm
know.
saying.
You
though.
said
That's tough right
0-0?
That's very likely.
What about you,
though.
Danny? You want
I
to
think it is. I
It is
think it's
very
good.
likely.
With Mourinho going in, I think 0-0 is looking.
Only bet real money, not shots.
Oh my
No.
God!
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So let's go ahead and send us off. Thank you for coming, Nicky.
Send us off at El Gallinero.
Yeah.
Nicky. I can't even say it. Anyways.
How do you say it?
Gallinero.
Gallinero.
There you go. That's the best one yet.
There you go.
Better than Galactos.
Galactose. Who said galactose?
No, we break it. We're the Gallos, so I wasn't there one day to break it down, and he broke it down and said Galassos.
Basically, it was a Galassos. It was more of a team talk to more goals. Wanted more goals, you know? Galassos.
Absolutely. There you go.
All right, Nicky. Send us off.
Send us
All right,
off.
guys. Nah, I mean, I want to thank y'all. For having me here.
Absolutely.
And the ghost guest. No. But I had an enjoyable time here, so.
Was
I'll
it
be
better?
ready.
Was it better than the other podcasts, the radio shows you've been doing?
Well, I've done interviews. It hasn't been like this. Like I was more myself. I got to explain actual stuff. You know, like.
So I'd say better. I hear that better. I hear
The
better.
only one that I like was what's his name from Univision, Pablito. What's his name?
Silva.
Pedrito Silva. Yeah, shout out Pedrito Silva. We love you, bro. Yeah.
Plug, you
Plug,
fucking
plug.
My bad.
Hey, get that fuck out of here.
Hey, we need to ring him on.
Hula.
But yeah, go ahead. My bad. I see. I'm buzzing already. Yeah.
Alright, we're signing off. Gallinero.
Cheers.
I do.
All right.
He's gonna drink the rest.
Oh, you're pouring me.
Yeah,